Space 101.1 welcomes you to Broken, Alaska, the world's only ongoing improvised radio drama series. Burt is at his business, the Huehuetenango Coffee Roasting Hut, ready to drop a batch of rare beans into the roaster drum. All right, fire up the roaster. I'm so looking forward to these beans. It's my favorite coffee. I just love the cedar spice note that comes out. Oh, when I think about all the work that went into creating these beans, all the rotating and vacuuming the bags, and this is a challenge unlike I've ever had in my coffee roasting career.
Hi, Burt. How are you?
Oh, hello, Annika.
Really like your coffee a whole lot. It smells really good. Are you roasting beans again?
Yes, I have this special lot of aged Sumatra. A mate of mine from the Metropolitan Police Force from those days retired to Sumatra.
Oh!
He normally only supplies to the big companies, but he just sent me this small batch of Sumatran beans that he's been aging for 5 years.
Wow, that's really neat. Is anybody else here?
No, it's just you and I.
Is it really? That's wonderful. I'm really glad to hear that.
Hold on a tick. Let me bolt the door.
Good. I'd like a coffee, Burt, to make sure that it's you, Burt.
You're not going to take my word for it that it's me? All right. Here you go. Amaretto, 2 shots with a sweetener.
Thank you, Burt.
You're welcome, Annika.
It's very tasty.
Good, thank you. And by the way, in case you're wondering, I scanned the room for bugs.
So,
There are none.
all right, now that we can dispense with that stuff.
I'm anxious to hear what you've learned about Scarlet Slacks and his movements, but I've been shaking down my own sources. One thing I learned is that Rosa Pantalones is traveling with a woman who is extremely dangerous.
Okay.
If you see her, you mustn't make eye contact. She is a master of a martial art called Jitna Kando.
Are you serious?
She can kill
With a
without
look.
touching. Yes.
Yeah, I've heard of
know
this.
it.
Yeah, I do.
She is reported to be the last master of this martial art. In fact, my contact in Shanghai tells me that she's killed all the others.
It's good to know what I'm up against. So I spoke with a woman. She was initially not as cooperative as I had hoped. It did rough her up a bit.
Well, I just hope you didn't go too far. I mean, I want to bring down the Dagger's criminal empire, but I don't want to resort to his methods to do it.
I assure you, Becky became most cooperative. And
Well.
that's how I got to Ishpeming. Puce Pantalones, I learned that he was investigating, working, I'm not exactly sure, but he was dealing with a mine.
Wow.
My next stop was to Winona, Minnesota, which is where I learned that the Puce Pantalones was headed for the Caribbean.
Interesting.
Something about scuba diving. I'm not sure what mining and scuba diving have to do with each other, especially if he's on his way here.
Well, small towns in Canada to a big metropolis like Ishpeming to the Caribbean just seems like such an odd sequence of places to visit.
Okay.
Well, it is very nice to have you back in town, Annika.
What else is new around town since I've been gone?
Well, there is a chap named Gordy who came here from Canada to drill some test oil wells.
Gordy.
That seems to be the big news, except
Okay.
for, of course, Brick is running for mayor. He's
Yeah?
going to run against Mayor Frost.
Wow. I honestly hope he does get it.
I hope that you're enjoying your time with Carlos since you were away.
Ever since his brother got here, it's gotten really weird over at that house. It's always mama this and mama that, and Manuel and Carlos, they're making medallions with their mama's face on it so they can wear it and be medallion brother boys. Oh my gosh, they FaceTime that woman every single night.
Well, I've known Carlos for many years, but I've never seen that side of him.
And it's not just a, hey, how's it going? It's every detail of the day. They get into matching footy pajamas and crawl into the same bed, and they put the covers up over them, and they get on the laptop and talking to her for like an hour every single night. It's more than a person can really deal with.
Wait. Matching footy pajamas?
Yes. They have one for every night of the week so that it's Monday night sombrero and, of course, Tuesday tacos. And it's insane.
That goes a bit beyond weird.
Matching footy pajamas. So, needless to say, I'm not with Carlos anymore.
Well, we really need to fix you up with someone else in town. What about, I don't know, no, not Old Man Fletcher. He's goodness knows what issues he has.
Yep.
How about...
Old man.
Yeah, not George. He's too old for you, too. What about Doc Burgess?
I'm going to respectfully say no to that because I hear that Doc Burgess and Heather have been spending a lot of time in the hot tub together every night.
Heather really only has eyes for Mayor Frost.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else there might be.
Yeah, well, you know...
What about Sheriff Jim?
Isn't Sheriff Jim really into the cat more than he's into anybody else?
Well, it's true.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to resign myself to the fact that up here, the odds are good, but the goods are odd. Anyway, well, thank you for the coffee.
Oh, you're welcome. Let me know when the next time you're going out is.
Probably leaving in the next couple of days.
Well, I'm going to get back to work on these beans. They really are rather touchy. Fortunately, I'm not expecting anyone else to stop by, so I'll be able to laser focus on them without interruption.
Okay, well, they smell good, doing a great job, and I'll be in touch.
You're listening to Broken Alaska on Space 101.1 FM. Visit us on Facebook at Broken AK and catch up on previous episodes via your favorite podcaster. Burt and Brick don't always see eye to eye, but they have each other's trust and respect. So it's not surprising that Brick would show up at the Huehuetenango Coffee Roasting Hut to talk about the big events afoot. Finally, I can get around to roasting these beans. Oh, you little babies, I just can't wait to get you in the roaster and expand you to the heat.
Hello, Burt, old buddy. How are you doing?
Oh, Brick, this is a bit of a surprise. I suppose you've come by to pick up the beans you ordered for your coffee shop.
I've come by for some coffee and to talk to my best buddy.
Oh, well, have a seat. The coffee's right there on the table. I think you'll like them. They have a very pleasing, nutty flavor.
Is that what I'm smelling in here? Is that my coffee?
No, this is a special order I have for some aged Sumatra. Very, very finicky. So if my attention is split between you and the coffee, please don't take offense.
All right. Well, look, I'm going to need more of that because we are selling coffee like crazy.
You know, Brick, you seem to be really in a fabulous mood. You're positively beaming today.
Well, I am up.
Do you have an idea of how the mayoral campaign is going?
Oh, it's going really well. I mean, I'm trending up. My poll numbers are amazing. I'm currently at 33.
33%?
No, 33 people who are going to vote for me.
Oh, well, that's quite good then. I mean, in a town of 71 people, that's almost half.
End of the week, it should be 40.
Brilliant.
I think so too.
I'm feeling better and better about jumping on the brick bandwagon.
Well, I'm calling it the brick wagon.
Oh, that's
Everything
catchy.
sounds much better with just put brick on it.
Oh, so you could call the highway the Brick Way.
The brick way, the brick house.
You could change City Hall to Brick Hall.
Brick hall.
Excuse me a second. I have to just check these beans.
Those beans smell really good, you know.
Oh, these are going very well. Very well.
Good.
They should have a nice mahogany finish, I think, when they're done.
So, have you seen Rose around?
I know that she was quite incensed about that Gordy chap. He
Yeah?
wants to drill all the oil wells.
Huh. Well, you know what? That billboard outside Rose's place, that is working.
Well, it is the best place in town. I know Rose is probably not very happy, but...
Well, she's on board, and I'll tell you what, we're getting on like a house on fire at the moment. We're finally seeing some mutual territory together. I mean, it's really nice.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. But I've also heard that she's been spending an awful lot of time with that taxidermy hobby that she started.
Hey, everyone has their own thing, you know, that's fine. It's the last thing I would want to do, but...
Well, I saw the squirrel that she did. It was quite nice. I've heard that she's working her way up towards much, much bigger animals.
When I was there just yesterday, she had a bobcat in the sink. Ugh. Anyway, it's a weird hobby, but it's her, I guess, you know, I don't know. Yeah, we're getting on really well.
I'm glad, and I'm glad that the mayoral campaign is doing very well, too. You know, I put a bumper sticker on the back of my pickup truck. I really like the one you chose. Vote Brick.
Yeah.
You know, it says what you want them to do.
says
It
vote
tells
Brick.
them, vote Brick.
Yeah, and you know, because it's less than 10 letters, I saved a fortune.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah,
the price of I've never thought about the price of bumper stickers before.
Yeah, but I
that
mean,
is
I had
insane.
Joey print them, so I got a good rate too. You know?
Maybe I should have some bumper stickers made up for the Huehuetenango Coffee.
Yeah.
No, it'd be way too many letters. Be
Yeah,
very
yeah,
expensive.
well, you could call it the Huehue.
Oh, I like that.
Everyone knows what that is.
Yeah. Here, look at these coffee beans. They're really
Yeah.
coming along well.
They're interesting. Can I chew one?
Be careful you don't hurt yourself, but yes.
Wow. I suppose if you develop a taste for it, it'd be fine.
Well, I suppose one could develop a taste for anything. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
look at tiramisu. To the outside world, we must look like savages. You know, I
Right.
don't know where Old Man Fletcher gets all the moose milk
No, me
for
neither.
his grocery store.
Me neither.
I mean, you know, the big dairies just don't carry it.
No, you don't often get to see mooses getting milked, do you?
Maybe he goes out in the woods at night and milks moose. That would explain why he's so cross.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bert. I'm going to put that on my platform promise. I will get to the bottom of that moose milk controversy. Because you're voting for me, I'll make that promise personally. I will look into that moose milk.
So what about the potholes? Are you pro-pothole or anti?
I am going to fill in the potholes.
Oh, so anti.
But
Oh, well,
I'm
that's
going to
good.
look into moose milk. I'm going to have education for all our children.
Well, we don't really have any children in town.
Planning for the future.
Well, I know you couldn't do sort of a whistle-stop tour like Roosevelt did, because we don't really have a train that runs through town, but are you going to do something like that?
Well, I'm knocking on all the doors, Bert. I'm talking to people. I'm listening to what their concerns are, and I'm promising them that I will look into everything. I will make sure this town and its people are happy and blissful.
A politician who listens to people, that is sort of unique.
I don't want to be a politician, Bert. I'm going to be a friend.
I like that. You should print more bumper stickers.
Too many letters, Bert. Way too many letters.
Oh, it would be more expensive, I suppose.
Definitely so, yes.
Well, what do you plan to do about this driller chap from Canada, Gordy?
Gordy, the driller.
Yes, he wants to drill all these test wells in town.
You think so?
I think you're going to need an official position on this, Brick.
Well, my official position is that if it's legal, it's legal.
I'm just worried because what if there's no oil, but this chap drills all these holes around town? I mean,
Until it happens, it's not important, is it really?
Well,
the
I don't
election's
know.
Soon. I tell you what, I'll look into it. I will look into this.
maybe you could loop in those two German scientists who you've hired.
Yeah, but their specialty is audiology. I don't think it's anything to do with engineering.
Well, geology, audiology, they both have ology in them.
So,
Perhaps we should call someone from the state to come in and look at everything and examine the permits and the environmental surveys and things and really look into this in a very deep sort of way. I know Joey is already on the ball on this.
terrific.
Well, who knows what could happen? I mean, there was the Air Force Civil Defense Base that you could puncture some sort of tank with some sort of toxic chemicals or something, or it could unleash some sort of natural
boy.
gas that
Oh, boy.
explodes and burns the town to the ground. I mean,
is that the time, really? Is that look, I've got a meeting, so I really need to get out of here. I will pick this up next time, all right?
all
Thanks
right.
for your vote, Bert.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brick.
Gotta go.
Burt seems to have picked the wrong day to roast the finicky aged Sumatra beans, because right after Brick leaves, Rose stops by. Oh, finally, I can get around to these beans. Oh, yes, look at you sitting there. You just can't wait to be roasted, to have your carbohydrates come.
Hey, Bert. Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rose. You didn't see me talking to the coffee beans, did you?
Oh, I expect you to talk to the coffee beans. I think it adds
okay.
an excellent layer of flavor to them myself. So
Well,
whatever you have to do to get those beans roasted, buddy, you just keep doing it. They're
Well,
delicious.
love is the secret ingredient, I suppose.
I'm so glad. Hey, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have these 2 big jugs of formalin. I was hoping maybe I could store them here. It's an embalming fluid, actually, for my taxidermy stuff. And Well, I wanted to store them just at the produce stand, of course, but Heather says something about health code violations, and Brick says that I can't store them in the lab because the smell of it bothers the rabbit and stuff. So, do you think I could store them here? Do you have any place maybe in the back room?
Well, no, I'm afraid that...
Oh,
coffee is
gosh.
basically like a sponge, so it would absorb... I'll
maybe
tell you
you're
what,
right.
though, there is an old tool shed out behind the Huehuetenango Coffee Roasting Hut that I'm not using.
Okay.
It's waterproof. Would that be all right?
Yeah, definitely. You think you could show me where that is right now?
Well, no, not right now. I've got the beans in the roaster. I really can't leave.
Oh, okay.
But-
Can I just set them here next to the roaster? Well, I guess they're
no,
really
no,
flammable.
Yeah, maybe you could just leave them out front.
All right. They're really heavy. Do you think you could help me carry one of them? It's been kind of a pain dragging these around all over
I
town.
can't really right now, Rose. I'm a bit preoccupied with the coffee, but
Well, I'll just set them by the door for now. Do you have anything on the stove? Maybe a little bit of coffee that you have made today? Maybe
Well-
we could just sort of sit and chat for a little bit?
I can't really sit and chat, but I can chat while I'm roasting. And
Oh,
yes, I
yeah.
did just do a pour over there.
Oh, I see it. Okay,
this
thanks.
is-
You mind if I pour myself a cup?
No, please do.
Thanks.
These are the beans that I roasted for Brick for the laundromat.
Oh.
They're from Huila
Huila,
in Colombia.
Colombia.
Yes,
Oh,
they're
let me
quite
have a
nice.
second.
Speaking of Brick,
Yeah.
I hope I'm not being too forward, but rumor going around town is that he proposed to you.
Oh, yeah. That's a rumor going around town, huh?
Yes.
I'll tell you, Bert, it is true. He did. He did. He proposed on his knee in my kitchen. And
Wow.
yeah, and I said no. I said I could not accept a marriage proposal from him at this point. So,
I'll be honest, I'm glad.
are you?
Yes, I am.
Why?
I just don't see you and Brick working. There's just something, you have too much honesty and integrity and goodness
Oh,
to really be
Bert.
with Brick.
Do you think so?
Yeah,
Well,
I
he's
do
trying
think
to turn
so.
himself around. He's trying to be a better man, and he's running for mayor. And I don't know. I mean, stuff he's been saying to me makes it sound like he might really be turning a new leaf.
Well, I'm willing to vote for Brick. But, Brick, he's like a pendulum. Sometimes he's a little bit more human, sometimes he's a little bit less human. And more than less.
Yeah, I guess
So,
you're right.
If you like that sort of thing.
I don't, actually.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot to be said for, stable.
Right.
You know.
Stable, someone who's a really solid member of the community, who,
Yes.
somebody you can turn to whenever you need a hand.
Stable, it has a negative connotation. It's like boring. Or
Yeah. Stable isn't really sexy, is it? I guess. but-
It doesn't have a reputation as being sexy. And yet, if you're going to build a house, you want a stable foundation.
Right. Well, I don't know.
Well, here, hold on. Take a look at these. Take a
what
look
is
at
it?
these
the
coffee beans. Yeah.
Look at these. Oh, interesting. They're kind of green in the beginning, but they're starting to get a little browner, aren't they?
They
That's
get
kinda
browner and browner. So
Oh,
this little
smells
device I
all
have here is called a trier.
neat. Sort
It's
of a little scooper.
It's like a cylinder with a little scoop at the end and a little wooden handle, and so you pull it out, look at the beans,
Oh, you
and
stick
see
it
what
right there
color
in the
there is.
roaster.
Yeah, you
How
stick it
about
right back
that?
in the roaster, and then you pull some beans out and take a look at them, and that's how you judge when the beans are getting ready.
Well,
to
how long does
go
it
out.
usually take to roast beans?
It depends on the beans, but 10 to 14-ish minutes.
Oh, I see.
It's very
Yeah.
quick. I'm sorry, that's why I'm not looking
I
at you very much. It's
understand,
because
yeah.
I really do have to keep my eye on things,
Okay, That's okay.
Coffee is a very demanding mistress.
Oh,
Oh,
Bert, this is Gordy, the oil driller from Canada.
Oh, Gordy, and nice to meet you. My name's Burt.
What are you doing here, Gordy?
Well, I came because last time I talked to you, Rose, you were asking about the permits and things, and so I had the head office fax over all these documents, and I had them printed out for you.
Well, I thank you. You could have just given these to me tonight at dinner since we're meeting again. Looks like these are...
Oh, the two of you having dinner.
Well, I've been having dinner with Gordy a lot because I'm trying to convince him that drilling test wells here in Broken is a terrible idea. And even if you have all these permits and you have the legal right to do something, Gordy, that doesn't make it a moral right, does it?
And I keep telling her, Bert, it's not up to me. My bosses back in Winnipeg keep saying to me, Gordy, they keep saying, Without oil, the world would just sink into chaos in weeks. There'd be wars, and no one could go to work, and maybe even cannibalism. I mean, I'm Canadian, so I don't like to judge, but cannibalism is a bridge too far. If it wasn't up to me to save the world, though, I'd probably just raise puppies.
And I know you love puppies, but Gordy, I know you're just trying to do your job here, but I mean, maybe this is the time for you in your life to just stand up against the big corporation.
Well, here, Rose, this is a picture of my puppy, Emerson.
Oh.
Isn't he cute?
Gosh, Gordy, he is really cute. Look at those little floppy ears.
I know, he's a good boy.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. Gordy, look, as much as I enjoy having dinner with you, and I have been really enjoying having conversations with you about your opinions on puppies, I feel like I need to remind you that I am still actively working to find legal ways to stop you from doing your work here in Broken. I want you to know I've talked to my lawyer in California, and we are working on getting a stop work order against you and your company so that this drilling does not happen.
You'd be surprised how many people, when I come to drill a well in their town, they don't want me to do it. So I don't take any offense by your legal action against the company I work for that pays my rent.
Well, that's good. I guess I'm glad you don't take offense to that because,
oh, no.
I'm just very concerned. This is my hometown now, and I don't want it full of holes.
If we don't find the oil, we always fill in the hole.
Gordy, you know as a geologist that the environmental impacts of drilling test wells around a town like this is significant. And even if you fill those holes back in, we could have minor earthquake tremors. We could have some subsidence after you leave. I mean, what kind of recourse would we have if a year after you leave town, something goes really wrong with these wells?
Well, Rose, let me ask you, has anything bad ever happened as a result of an oil company?
Yes,
drilling?
Gordy. A lot of bad things have happened as a result of oil companies drilling. And have you found a location where you think you're going to make this test well?
I picked out the first spot, but I need to take some core samples to make sure there's nothing underground that could cause a problem. I mean, I drilled a test well in this town in North Dakota called Epworth, and it turned out that the Air Force buried a bunch of radioactive waste there, and well, everybody had to move, and I don't want that to happen here. I don't mean to interfere.
Oh, Burt, I'm so sorry.
I really need to pay attention to these beans now. They are really quite finicky.
All right.
So I wonder if maybe you could, go out and sit on the bench out front or something and talk about this.
Okay, Burt, that's fine. Look, Gordy, can you at least help me carry these jugs of formula into the back? I'm going to put these in the shed, and they're kind of heavy. And you're very strong and handsome and can obviously carry these jugs very easily, and I would appreciate if you'd lend me a hand, I guess.
Well, thank you, Rose. Of course I'll give you a hand.
I've
been called strapping.
Strapping, that is definitely a word I would use for you.
Oh, thank you. Here,
I can get them both.
I can get them both. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
They're quite heavy. What is this stuff anyway?
Oh, never mind. Here, I'll hold the door. Thanks, Burt. Thanks for the chat and the coffee.
All right. Cheers, Rose. We could forgive poor Burt if he's thinking that there's a downside to having so many friends. Do you think maybe now Burt can get around to his precious aged Sumatra beans? Let's find out. These things are a bit touchy. I don't know who came up with the idea of roasting aged coffee anyway. So little moisture.
Hey, Burt.
Oh, Joey. I didn't hear you come in. Sorry, I'm a bit preoccupied with my beans.
Yeah, I see all your beans, but I wanted to ask you a few questions.
I need to keep an eye on this, though, so...
Yeah, you watch your
I'm
beans.
paying attention.
I got a couple questions about Brick. What exactly do you know about the past of Brick?
Investigating your friends is not a good way to win friends and influence people, so I haven't looked too much into Brick's past.
Did you know before...
Oh, hold on a second. Okay, good. They're doing fine. Go ahead. Sorry.
Fine. Do you know before Brick came to our fair city, he lived, as we all know, in Australia, and he was one of the bigwigs at a Fipple factory.
A Fipple factory?
A Fipple factory. You know what Fipples are, don't you?
I can't say I do.
Well, Fipples are the mouthpieces of those kinds of recorders and slide whistles and those kinds of... It's a very specialty thing.
The things that children play in school.
Well, yeah. Like, ooh.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is? He was in this very big company and they went bankrupt. Everybody went to jail for fraud except, guess who?
Brick?
Yeah. Everyone went to jail except for Brick, and he got off totally 100% scot-free. Did you know that?
Well, perhaps he had better lawyers. There could be several explanations. He might not have known about the wrongdoing.
Oh, he was one of the 3 people who were in charge of all of the Fibbles.
Sorry, I'm a bit preoccupied with the beans. They're very touchy.
Yeah.
Look, here, you can see those are some aged coffee beans, and these are some regular coffee beans.
I kind
You
of
can
like the
see-
regular better.
It has a more vegetative aroma, but you can see the difference, how much smoother they are and how much greener they are than the aged coffee, which are much more like sort of brown pebbles. That's why they're so tricky and why I need to sort of keep an eye on things. I mean, one thing I will say, Joey, that I think is public knowledge is that Brick was involved with a company that was making American flags, and they turned out that they were really quite flammable, but I know he paid quite a hefty fine for that.
Yeah, well, actually, funny you should bring that up, because, wait, I have my notebook right here. Yeah, I asked, and they said that there was something very odd about Australians making American flags.
Well, I don't know, Joey. Aren't most of the American flags made in China?
Well, I got to tell you, China's different than Australia.
I know, but Joey, if you'll excuse me, I really need to pay attention to these
Oh,
beans.
hey, Bert. Hey, Joey.
Oh, hey, hello,
it
Heather.
smells so good in here.
Oh, thank you. It's the cedary spice notes of the aged Sumatra.
Well, whatever it is, you can smell it from a mile away. I was hoping to talk to you about maybe giving me some coffee for my yoga class. Maybe it'll entice more people to come.
You want him to just give you the coffee?
Maybe for some samples to entice the new students.
I will think about this and come up with a blend. And Joey,
And-
can we catch up later?
Well, yeah, but I got a couple questions.
Maybe if you could just stand over there and give me a little
Whoa,
bit of
whoa,
room.
whoa, 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 wait a second. I got to ask you one more very important question about Brick now in this town. Well, in the recent
All right,
past.
what is it, Joey?
What do you know about this little oil deal that went down not so long ago?
Oh, yes. I remember Brick saying something about importing some olive oil from Spain so that Rose could make a special salad dressing he likes.
No. The oil driller from Canada.
Oh, Canada. You know,
Gordy.
I haven't been there in a couple months. Maybe I can ask him to give me a ride up there. Yeah.
Heather,
Gordy.
with all due
Gordy?
respect, what are you on about?
You know,
There's
this-
the oil driller Gordy who came here from Canada to drill some test wells.
I took a test once and I didn't do very well on it. What
Note
was that,
to
an
self.
SAT?
She is very,
Or-
very suspicious sounding right now.
oh,
Can I
oh, oh.
quote you?
Oh,
So-
Tosh.
Oh, good. All of you are here. So, I have a huge bundle of campaign flyers, and I'd like to put them up here.
Yes, of course, Tosh. You can put them in the window. There's some sellotape over there on that table.
Oh, thank you. So, Burt, can you come over here? I can't find the sellotape you talking about.
I really can't. I'm sorry, Tosh. Get
Hello,
over there.
everyone.
Louise, hello.
I am here to invite you to my going away party next week. I'm going to be singing. La la la. Just a little appetizer for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, you can all come. Don't worry. You're all invited. Please come. Come.
Wait a second. Heather, what exactly are you doing to find out about you know who?
The driller. Do you
Yeah.
know the driller? He could come to the party. He's probably going to be out of town by then.
Burt,
I'm
Burt,
doing...
the tape
Tosh,
is run out. I
everything
need
I've
more
been
tape. I
seeing,
need
every
more
day.
tape.
Workbench by the door,
Out
third
of
table.
town.
To the right.
Burt, could you come by the cabin tonight? I just got the last painting I bought, and it's Lucas van Ouden with travelers and dogs, and I think one of the dogs is Pugsy.
Well, of course, Manu.
I can't. I need the tape now to get the
Third drawer
can't
down
slide
to
it
the
up.
right-hand side.
He's not here.
But, yeah,
Drilling.
about what time?
Who knows?
7 o'clock.
Anyway.
It's getting really smoky in here.
This is not good for my skin.
Oh, my
Hey, Burt.
Ruined.
Terribly smoky in here,
Beans,
Burt.
they're burning. All right, everyone out. Go. You've ruined my beans. Go away.
Oh, they're on fire. Oh, where is that?
God, my hair smells.
If my spouse is not good, I'm going to blame him for the weird number.
Is everyone all right? Is everyone all right?
No.
I don't know. My hair
You're not all
smells.
right, Bert.
It's all your fault, Bert. Why did you do this
Could
to
you
us?
do that to my
I
beautiful
told you
little
all
boy?
to get out. I told you these were very temperamental beans, but you wouldn't leave me alone.
You need to put a lock on your door.
You're temperamental.
You're a temperamental bean.
No.
Look, why don't you just all go home?
Okay, well, the headline is Bert's Beans Burned, okay?
Fine,
Right,
Joey.
this
This
up.
does not make the town look good.
Your organization skills, that's what you needed. If
Here, Tosh, here's some sellotape. Go away.
finally.
Bert, you will stop by at 7, right?
Yes, George.
Okay.
Back to talk about other things.
Fine, Joey.
Okay, Bert, if you're done with your hissy fit, I wanted to give you something. This piece of mail accidentally came to my house. It is
See.
from New York.
It
was addressed to you.
Thank you, Louise. I'm sorry. It's probably just my certificate of participation from the 5K that I was in. Let me just
You
open
run
it up real quick here.
5K?
Oh,
Okay, well, bye. Hope you calm down a little bit, eh?
thank you, Louise. Oh, it's from D.I. James. Dear Burt, loaded up the U-Haul. Am on my way from Brooklyn to Broken. Should be there in a few weeks. Oh, good. I could use his help if we're going to put down red trousers once and for all. I guess I better get inside and start cleaning up the mess. Well, that's all the time we have for now. Broken, Alaska was recorded at the studios of Space 101.1 and starred Mike Fuller as Burt, Gordy, and the announcer. Taylor Edwards as Annika. Paul Einhorn as Brick. Carrie Aguila as Rose. Carol Sparrow as Joey. Julie Bragg as Heather. Kayla Vern Jazz as Tosh. Lisa Kaufman as Louise. And George Birch Wirtz as George. It was written, directed, edited, and produced by Carrie Aguila and Mike Fuller. Music by Audionautics.com. We tell you what's coming up next time on Broken Alaska, but since it's improvised, you'll know as soon as we do.